Right, good evening, boys and girls. Nice to be with you again. I hope you're all safe and keeping well. Welcome to the science lesson 3 of our lockdown. But before we go into the male sperm cell this evening, let's just go backwards in order to go forward. I'm just going to highlight a couple of things and we can move on. First of all, it's important to remember that the sperm cells are created in the testes of the male. And you've learned that in our previous lesson. Also, very important to remember is that the male actually creates millions of them to ensure that pregnancy actually does take place. Okay guys, now if you take a look at the sperm cell, I can actually take my pen and draw a line and actually divide that sperm cell into two bits, one on the left, one on the right. So what we need to know today is that the sperm cell actually consists of two parts. We've got the head of the sperm cell, and towards the rear we will obviously, you can see my little movements there, we'll obviously have the tail. So that is the basic structure, the tail and then the head of the sperm cell. Okay, so let's take it one step further, get him out of the way. But if we take a look at my next slide, if I plonk it down over there, and you can see in this slide over here, I've actually taken the head of the sperm cell and I've actually cut that head away, and I'm showing you something on the inside of that sperm cell. So let's talk about that quickly. Alright, remember in my previous one I spoke about the tail. Now we need to know the function. Obviously the tail is vital for any kind of movement. If there was no movement, the sperm cell would not be able to find the egg cell inside the woman's body. So it has to be able to move. And that's why I've drawn those little squiggly lines all over there on the side. Second, you will notice that if I take a look at it, it's almost got a red border around it. And that is the outer armor. Now obviously, if there's outer armor on a sperm cell, it must be protecting something on the inside. And that is that red bit that you see over there that we're going to look at in detail later. Now obviously, what is being protected? That the sperm cell carries 23 chromosomes from the male. So those 23 chromosomes that you find in the head of the sperm are being protected by that outside layer of outer armor. Okay, so the tail is for movement. The outer armor protects the 23 chromosomes on the inside of the sperm cell. Rightio, let's go to the last one. If I take a look at the last slide, what I did in this one was I just took everything and I put everything together. There we have the tail, there we have the head, there we have the genetic payload, which is 23 chromosomes from the male. There we have indicated that the tail is for movement, and there I've spoken about the outside armor covering. This is the drawing, boys and girls, that I'd like you to put into your science books for me. So I'm going to pause it for a while. You might want to take a screenshot, and I will tell you in my notes exactly where I want the drawing to go. So what you're going to do for me is you're going to do the drawing for me, and then you are going to include the labels as neatly as possible. Okay, thanks guys.